Hey everyone, this is a video on Mini Project 5.2. So first question. This company has two plants that produce lumber used in manufacturing tables and chairs. In 1 day of operation, plant A can produce lumber required to manufacture 24 tables and 59 chairs, while B can produce lumber required to manufacture 27 tables and 54 chairs. In this production run, the company needs enough lumber to manufacture at least 540 tables and 930 chairs. It costs $935 per day to operate Plant A and $980 per day to operate Plant B. The company needs to produce a sufficient lumber at a minimum cost. Right? So we can keep making these, but we want to be as efficient as possible to minimize our costs, right? So we want to make these as quickly as possible. Okay. So we can set this up as a linear program. So we're just going to talk about what are the constraints of this problem, okay? And we don't consider the non-negative ones, like we have to produce chairs, we have to produce tables. So you'll see here that the first constraint is you need to do what? You need to have at least 540 tables. So let's look at Plant A can do 24 tables and Plant B can do 27 tables. And X is the number of days that we have Plant A open. So for if it was 2 days, I would have 24 times 2. And Y is the number of days for Plant B. So we see that we're going to use the 24 and the 27, and we have to somehow relate it to the 54. So 24X and 27Y, we know that we have right here, it has to be greater than or equal to, we have to make at least, so we have to make at 540 or more, okay, for the number of days that we have each plant open. So this is one constraint. And the other constraint uses the chairs, the 59 and 54, so it'd be 59 for plant A, so 59X, 54Y, and what's the total number I need to make? At least 930. So 59X, 54Y, so it looks like it's right there. And those are the two constraints I would have. Second question here. Matt has a CD. Oh, I don't have a CD. I have to invest $83,000 into a CD and to a mutual fund. So the CD yields 4%, and the mutual fund yields 8.5%. The mutual fund required a minimum investment of $10,000, so I have to invest at least $10,000 in the mutual fund, and I require that I have at least 2 times as much money in the CD as the mutual fund. So I want more money in my CD, right? Because it actually does what? Gives me more back, or it actually gives me less back. Interesting. And you must invest these bonds to maximize your returns. Okay. So what are the constraints? So you want to think, first thing is, how much money do I have to invest? $83,000. So that means the number of dollars I invest in the CD and the number of dollars I invest in the mutual fund have to be below or equal to 83,000. Okay. The next thing says I need to invest at least 10,000 in the mutual fund. So you want to think that means it has to be at 10,000 or greater. So that's what this statement right here is saying. If you're thinking about this one, that means it has to be the most or the maximum I can invest is 10,000. Okay. And last but not least, I need 2 times as much money in the CD. So if X is the CD, then 2 times Y would give me the cost of the CD, right? Because I won't double the amount of money in the CD as in the mutual fund. You want to think. So you have 2 options here. So I won't double the amount of money. This one down here would say the mutual fund is double the amount of the CD, which is not what we're saying. So it just so happens that all my answers are up here. And that concludes the video.